Domantans Sabonis, Domantans Sabonis, Domantans Sabonis. A little of the white stripes for you. Jack White and Meg White, Seven Nation Army. And I'll get into that a little bit. Seemed like the Sacramento spectators at the Golden One Center, you know, like rallying that off during the game every time he scored or did something fantastic. And he did it again tonight, folks. But let me start here. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor, presented by Publicity Agents. I'm your host, Tony Harvey. And today is January the 9th, Tuesday, January the 9th, 2024. Just got done wrapping up watching the Sacramento Kings beat the Detroit Piston 131-110. Sacramento Kings. And we all know what happened the other night here. They just started a 5-game road trip, which started in Motown, but we know what happened here in Sacramento about 48 hours ago. Oh, boy. Anyway, they won tonight, 131-110 on the Piston. But that first quarter, boy. The Pistons scored 47 points in that first quarter. It was 47-29. Okay, they got up by 20 points. They were feeling it. Okay, I mean, they were really feeling it. So I can't even really explain it. How they came back was behind Domantans Sabonis and Keegan Murray. Later on, Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox. So I'm talking about that Kentucky connection. So, hey, a win is a win. Sacramento Kings, they improved to 22-14, and they are now, 9-7 on the road. Okay, they are in the midst of a back-to-back. That was the front end. Now we're going to the back end. They will be playing in Charlotte, North Carolina against the Charlotte. They're on the back end. It's Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to get this right one day, folks. I'm just trying to get into the flow. You know what I'm saying? People talk about the reps. You know, my good friends, Kyle Draper and Mark Jones talk about the reps. Be patient with it. But yeah, they will be on the back end of a back-to-back tomorrow. They will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, when they take on the Charlotte Hornets, who beat them the last week here in their first game of their 4-home stand at Golden One Center. It was pretty much an embarrassing loss because the Hornets was on the 11-game losing streak. And matter of fact, they haven't won since they beat the Kings. And so they came in 7-21 or something like that, and now 7-24. They beat the Kings. They became 8-24, but now they're 8-26, so they don't lost their last 2 games. But tonight we got to start here, okay? Aside from the first quarter, sans the first quarter, a tremendous effort that they put in, for the last 3 quarters, and they pretty much got the cooking. But I will start here with Mr. Keegan Murray. He had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. But he had 13 points in that second quarter, okay? And matter of fact, he was doing it on both ends of the floor. He was the two-way machine, if you want to call it that. He really got them going, with some stops. I think he got one of those blocks that he got, during that quarter. A couple threes, and multiple efforts. Something that the Kings coaching staff and Mike Brown, the head coach, been preaching all season. You give things multiple effort, that will happen. And there's no way you should be losing to a 3-33 team. Well, now they're 3-34. Okay. Matter of fact, the Detroit Piston, they're on the 5-game losing streak again after, experience futility with a 28-game losing streak. But yeah, Keegan Murray, the Hawkeye of the gold and blue, the Hawkeye of the gold and black, his University of Iowa colors came through tonight. And let me tell you, he was hustling all over the place. Okay, as I said, he scored 32 points. He was 13 for 17 from the field, 5 of 9 from three-point territory. So he pretty much did what needed to be done as far as his effort. And then we'll fall into Domantans Sabonis. Chalked up another triple-double. I think that's his 9th of the year. Okay, 2 in the last 3 games. 37 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, 3 steals, 16 for 21 from the field. He even hit a 3-pointer for you, folks. Domantans Sabonis, he's an all-star. Okay, he's an all-star. And I think he's probably one of the most underappreciated players in the association, which I'd really myself do not appreciate at all. This man be working his tail off of this team. And though that team had fell behind by 20 points, thanks to him and his efforts in that first quarter, okay, he was able to drive them back home himself. Okay, he showed a lot of emotions in that first quarter. You can tell he did not want to lose that game, especially none of them want to lose that game. Okay, because it was really messy. I mean, these cats, whoa, I think Detroit hit something like 7 to 10 threes in that first, 7 to 10 threes in three-point territory in the first quarter. And it wasn't looking good. But it looked really, really great and pretty and all nice and shiny the rest of the part of the game. But again, the next 36 minutes, they really put it together. So I was enjoying that. But yeah, Domantans, woo! Hey, he did his thing, and he had 3 steals. Okay, so you know he's playing defense. Matter of fact, those are some of the things that, that don't show up in the stat box, too, about his hustle play, too. I know he was having problems with those turnovers, too. I didn't get the full Monty on his turnovers. I don't think he had that many, even though the team, they turned the ball over like 5 times in that first quarter. So that was another one of their problems and stuff like this. So I know Mr. Mike Brown, head coach Mike Brown, had to explain, look, you got to play defense and you got to take care of the ball. So I'm pretty sure a lot of that went into it. De'Aaron Fox, 26 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 10 for 19 from the floor shooting. 10 of 19. Made 10 shots out of 19's attempt. Okay, and he was 4 for 7 from three-point land himself. So he's kind of like bounced back from a 3-point game performance in the I keep anyway. Let's talk about it. I think he made his first 3 points in that game at the beginning of the game, and he didn't score again. But we know he's been ailing, maybe a couple nagging injuries and stuff like that as well. But started off pretty slow in this game, but he's coming back. And what we all know, Mike Bibby was talking about it on the telecast with Morgan Reagan. He can't do everything. Okay, that's the same way with Domantans. Okay, they're going to do their part, and they're going to do most of the heavy lifting. But these other cats, y'all got to fill in the blanks. Y'all got to help us, round everything out, smooth everything out, the edges, so we can pull together, so we can get this, and get this victory. But it was good to see the team, bounce back from the other night from basically a miserable loss to the New Orleans Pelicans, 133-100. I keep bringing it up, but I have to bring it up, folks. It's a crazy loss, and now it's the 4th time that they done lost to this team. So yes, the New Orleans Pelicans, they got the Kings number. And when them Pels come marching in, they got that number. Oh, they got that number. But anyway, let me move forward with this Fox. Okay, Kevin Huerter inserted back into the starting lineup, which was a good thing too. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists as a starter. Once again, things that just don't show up in the stat box, he was part of that too. He played some excellent defense. tonight. You're not going to, I'm not going to say if you're not going to do anything, but if you struggle in other areas, okay, it's always good to contribute in other sections of the game, okay, as far as helping your team win. And I think he did that. And I'm kind of glad that Mike did put him back into the starting lineup. Chris Duarte went back to the bench. Matter of fact, he didn't even play, so he had a DNP. I'm glad Kevin had, another crack back at there, and I think he's going to be there, for the duration too, because they do need some shooters in that area. So once he can get that back together, they call it mental, whatever call it. I think there's some psychological things going on there. Might even be some personal things going on there, but it's none of my business. So all I see is what I see on the floor, and he had 17 points in the last game. He was 6 for 10. He was 6 for 10 shooting from the floor, from the field. So maybe he's feeling a little bit better. Okay, shots didn't really go off that. I think we were about 2 for 9 or something like that. But he did other things to affect the game. Okay, to affect the game for this win. And then plus, trust me, they all had to play that team concept, that team scheme defense, to pull this out, because this team is bad. Okay, this is a really, really bad team. As a matter of fact, Cade Cunningham was out, leg strain or something like that, left leg strain or something, but he's going to be out for about 2 or 3 weeks. So they really going to have to pick it up in some other areas themselves, and I'm talking about the Detroit Pistons, because they really need that guy. He was really holding it down for them, and Monty Williams is doing his best to keep this team glued, because it's tough. But I know one thing about the Detroit Pistons: when you see certain things like this, from what I've experienced, because I've been covering the Kings for almost 22 seasons. This is my 22nd year of covering, this team in particular, overall, the NBA. When you see things like that was happening with this organization, all right, it starts from the top. So kind of filter out into the floor, with these players. So whatever that is, they got to get some cohesion going on there, okay, to build up that basketball culture like Mike Brown has did since he came in, May of 2022, to get the Kings going in the right direction. Okay, well, as you said, the soul of the organization, I'm taking that from him. That counts for everything. Okay, that's not as philosophical as you could put it. Okay, sell a team, let somebody else do it, or clean out the administration, get a different front office, because they got a lot of first round picks, a lot of lottery picks on that team from what I heard today, and they're struggling like this. They're just spinning their wheels and stuff. But anyway, Malik Monk, 26 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 blocked shots. He was 9 for 15 from the field shooting. He hit 2 of 6 shots in 3-point territory, but 2 blocked shots. Okay, I'm talking about these things because they are steals. Okay, 2 block shots from Keegan, 2 block shots from Malik. I think they had like 8 block shots, if I'm not. It's hard to put out these boxes for me. I got to get a printer anyway. But defense. And they could force 21 turnovers. So that helps too. Okay, you can get out and you can run. Now, the other night against New Orleans, those things wasn't happening. It was going the other way. It was going against the Kings and stuff like that. But when you force 21 turnovers, okay, you can get out in transition and make some things happen. And that's exactly what the Kings did, okay? Overall, as a team, they were 54 for 94 shooting from the field. So that's at 57%, okay? 13 for 33, if I'm not mistaken, shooting in 3-point land, 39%. But a lot of the work was done in the paint, the restricted area. The Kings scored 82 points in the paint. Okay, and the majority of those points, they came from Domantans Sabonis. He was hitting his free throws tonight too, so he understand. He understand those freebies at the charity stripe that you got to make those shots. They help out in the end. Okay, they've been shooting pretty lousy the last few games, except for the last game that they lost badly, but that didn't matter. Around the 60%, low 50s. You can't do that. But they did really well, and he's pretty much showing them by example that you got to hit your free throws. So yeah. Great effort, but it was scary in that first quarter. It really was a scary little scene, but the Kings bounced back. Matter of fact, when they did come back, they finished the first half shooting 68%, okay, after the first quarter, which was pretty much crazy because though they allowed 47 points to the Pistons in scoring in that first quarter, they scored 29 points. So if you look at it, the Kings scored 29 points in the first quarter against that 47. Those 47 buckets. But then they scored 39 in the second, 30 in the third, and 33 in the final frame. Okay? So they got the offense going. It was shiny. It was new. And it was beaming. They did like to beam tonight. Okay? And then when I say that, there was 39-18. So they cut the Pistons scoring down way down in that second quarter. They only allowed 18 points. And they only allowed 15 points in the fourth quarter. It was 30 or 30 apiece in the third quarter. But in that fourth quarter, the final frame, the Kings outshot them 33-15. So that's Kings. That's Kings basketball right there. Okay, I think a lot of that too was, as you can see, they picked up the tempo, so they started running again. At least when they were able to start forcing turnovers. Keegan hitting key baskets in that second quarter, and I think he had like 21 points going into the third quarter. So that kind of helped out too. And plus the defense kind of clamped it down towards that. I would say the last 6 minutes of that sixth quarter, I don't even think that Detroit Piston scored from the field. And that kind of blended into the third quarter. So they probably didn't get a basket between the second and third quarter to probably the first 4 or 5 minutes into the third quarter. So that tells you where the defense mindset was. Sacramento Kings defense. So it was good to see that, And as we know, after they have these horrible losses, these miserable losses, these chaotic losses, they do bounce back and perform well the following game. So that was really important too, because once again, this team is 3-34, 3 wins up, 34 losses down. Okay, so you can't. No, they beat Toronto, but Toronto was in the midst of that trade, so it was, using some different people in their personnel after they had got rid of some key players that they had traded to the New York Knicks. So they snuck in there and they got one. Luckily, because Toronto would have won that game if they had their regular players. But Detroit. Beauty's only skin deep. Yeah. Old Temptation song. I love Motown music. Yes, so that second and third quarter was that second and fourth quarter was key. You've seen a lot of defensive effort across the board, and those multiple efforts that Mike Brown has been talking about too. I know they brought back Juan Toscano-Anderson, JTA, for a 10-day contract. He was with the team. They had signed him a couple of weeks ago. Then they waived him, I guess, and then they waited till the waivers cleared, and they brought him back for another 10 days. And you come on, he did some fouls and stuff like that, but that's playing physical. That's playing, playing defense and things like that. I do like what JTA brings to the table for this team, and he's a champion. He got a ring with the Golden State Warriors, so he knows about winning. He knows about playing defense too, because that was one of his expertise while he was there in that uniform. Great young man. Okay, I saw a 10, 15, maybe about 20-minute clip of him that was produced by the NBA G League when he was playing with the Mexican team, the El Capitanes, if I'm not pronouncing that right. The title of the documentary is El Capitan, okay, and you can tell he has a passion for playing basketball. He has a passion for life. I did talk to him in the locker room a few games ago before, I found out that they were going to waive him. And he was telling me how basketball saved his life. And we were talking about, his time playing at Marquette. If anyone knows, Marquette is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is about 90 minutes from downtown Chicago. And we was talking about some serious stuff, okay? But he's a bright young man, intelligent young man. He loves life. He loves people. He's a great communicator, with the media and all. And I hope they can keep him on as long as they can. And he showed me something tonight, okay, because a part of that defense that the Kings needed, he was part of that. He wasn't a major part of it, but he was part of that. He stopped the ball when the ball needed to be stopped, okay. There were a couple fouls that were called on him. They were questionable, but, at this point, it doesn't affect anything like that. The Kings won. So, big ups to you, JTA, Juan Toscano Anderson. Okay, Hermanos. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, as at least from that start that the Kings had, okay, the basketball the basketball gods were definitely in favor of Detroit in that first quarter. But at some point, the basketball devils came in and took over and said, no, this is not your night. And everything got turned over, got flipped. The script was flipped. And Kings got it together. You don't need another embarrassing loss, right? Not this soon. Okay, play your game. You got your first game on a 5-game trip. You have a chance to get some get back. Okay, what Charlotte did to you in your first game of your home game, 4-game home stand at Golden One Center. So pull some things together, because you can come back 4-1. 3-2? No, I'm gonna say 4-1. Okay, if you can come back 5-0, that would be a big help too. You come back for about 2 games. The first game is going to be in Indianapolis and Golden One Center, and then you go back out on the road for another few games. I think another 5-6 games before All-Star break. And while I'm talking about that too, Tyrese Halliburton, who was drafted by the Kings, then traded to the Indiana Pacers. He's going to be out for about a couple weeks, at least a couple weeks. He had a pulled hamstring last night in the game. It looked really serious, but they said it was only a grade A pull. So hopefully he'll be back on the court healthy. That's why, because he's been blowing it up. He's been taking care of business for that team. It really would have been nice to see him come to Sacramento on January the 18th. That's when that game will take place. But yeah, okay. Bojan Bogdanovic, he had 22 points for the Pistons. Jaden Ivey, he had 22 points in the first half. Then Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic had 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. He was 4-7. He was 4-7 from three-point land. And the reason why I did bring that up, he had 22 points in the first half. Okay, and obviously the Kings talked about, you know, cooling him down, which I think the defense was more focused on him. So he only scored 4 points in the second half. Jaden Ivey. Okay, now everybody know about Jaden Ivey's deal. He was picked 5th overall in that 2022 NBA draft, and the Kings took Keegan Murray at number 4. But, you know, all the talk was surrounded about taking Jaden Ivey. Everybody is talking, you know, take the best available player, okay? But Monty McNair, he chose to take the best available player and fit. And it's working out for him well because he picked up Keegan Murray. Well, Jaden had 22 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. But he had 16 points in the first half too. So the Kings chilled him out on defense too. So that was a good thing too. He was 7 for 17 from the floor, 2 for 9, 3-point land. Jaden's gonna be all right for them. Okay, once they can get these things together, it's just a real good, real young team. And like I said before, you know, they just got to find that culture of and blend it in. You know, get some cohesion going on in there. And obviously straighten up something that's going upstairs, you know, as far as the administration, because I don't care what nobody say. All right, when these things happen, it's happening all over the place, and it blends right out on the floor. Okay, I've seen this from the Kings. All right, but now, you know, the Kings got a great front office. They got a great coach. They got a great coaching staff. They got a great basketball operations. So that's why we're winning. We're losing some crazy games this year, but yeah, that's just how it goes, okay? It's tough in the Western Conference right now. Real tough. So, yeah, Alec Burke used to play at Kings for a quick second. Had a cup of coffee here. Alec Burke had 16 points. He made 5 three-pointers. And Jalen Duren, oh, I like him. 16 points and 10 rebounds. So he had a double-double for the Pistons. So that pretty much rounds out their scoring because everybody else didn't do anything. So those 4 players right there, Bogdanovich, Ivey, Burke, and Durham was pretty much carrying the load for the Pistons tonight. 21 turnover. Okay, that was all done by the Kings defense. So they pretty much choked them out in the second half. And, that was a big help. Okay, so I do multiple effort. Because I was seeing the Kings flying all around, you know, trying to get those 50-50 balls. I saw Keegan on the ground a couple times. I saw Trey Lyles, you know, picking up his player, Bojan Bogdanovich, full court. Okay. Multiple effort. Bring it home. Defense will bring it home. Okay. So I'm, you know, just getting around to this. Just wanted to give a little retrospect of the game. I'll definitely do one tomorrow after the Charlotte game, which I hope the Kings fans can get a win out of that one too. There will be no refund for Sunday's game. That 133-110 kick, but that happened and stuff. Oh yeah, my friend Kareem Daniels, who was at that game Sunday, said he wanted his money back. So I just want to put that out there. I don't know if you're going to get a refund, bro. You know, that's just how it goes. A lot of people lost money. So, you know, from my understanding, you know, each game, the Kings make about $5, $6, $7 million. Okay, so if the Kings are making $5, $6, $7 million for every home game, okay, everything else around there in Doko, I'm just talking about what's going on in Golden One Center. Okay, there's probably another 1, 2, 3 more million. So that's $10 million a night. I'm just saying though, folks. I don't have the numbers, but I've been told, you know, about how much money that the Kings make. All right, because I ain't talking about all that parking that y'all spend on and stuff like that, and the money that y'all spend in those restaurants and those bars around there. Okay, you know, as far as those hot dogs and those tickets. Okay, and the other accessories, because you buying stuff at the team stores, you spend a lot of money. Okay, all right. So you do not deserve to see a performance like you did the other night. Okay, The Pelicans got 50 points on this team, on the Kings. I don't even know. I've seen that before. The Kings have been beat by 40 points, 46 points, stuff. But to get up 50 points on them in person, that at home on a Sunday, and I got my family here, no, you cannot do that. You cannot. I'm not even really going to go into all the stuff about the media, reprimanding the players come out and speak, which they should, okay? They have a right to do that. But me personally, I think it was too much of a focus on there because Mike Brown came out and issued an apology to the fans about that performance, okay? Go talk to them. Go talk to the people who spent all their money, all right? We're going to get to those players. Y'all know that, all right? Now, I see that they snuck out of town, and ran off to Detroit, without talking to us because normally they practice before they get on the road, okay? That's another thing. But I'm not really concerned about that, okay? A lot of people, they hard-earned money. They spent a lot of money to go see that game. Go talk to them. Get their, get the anger out of them about that, okay? Don't make it about you because he did not come out there or this person did not come out and speak to us, okay? Because I understand, I was upset too, but, no, okay? Y'all know we sit there in that section 105 and do our little thing and we watch the game. We get paid to watch the game, okay? And some other benefits that we have, okay? But when I got people texting me, hey, what's going on with this team? I spent money on this. I spent money on that. That's a concern. Go talk to them. Go talk to those spectators who went down there. Ask them, okay? And then, by the way, tell them, oh, yeah, they didn't come out and talk to us. The players didn't come out, certain ones, okay? Big ups to Keon Ellis, doing this professionalism thing. He did come out and speak. Big ups to Domantans Sabonis. We did speak to him. And then later on, I heard that Kevin Huerter came out and he spoke too, okay? But go talk to those spectators when they lose their money like that again first before you trip out on me. It's just my little, I love y'all. Truth and stuff like that. That's just my side of things and stuff. That's just how I see it. I've been doing this for 30 years. And when a man come out there and issue apology to the fans, boom, okay? Next thing I'm listening to is fans complaining about the money that they spent, okay? They were upset. No, they didn't come out and say what happened. They lost the game, the fans were upset about that, but more so, okay? We ain't putting up a lot of dollars for this, If anything, we're paying for gas, paying for transportation to get to the game and leave. All right? But that's just my little commentary on that. I love y'all all. I work with y'all and stuff, but I just, okay? It's a lot of money spent on this game, okay? $5, $6, $7 million a night, folks. They Golden One Center. And I'm just talking about Golden One Center. Once again, I'm not talking about Doco, Downtown Commons. They making money too, okay? So if you think that everybody's leaving the game at the beginning of the fourth quarter because they're down about 40 points, okay? What about all these bars and other restaurants? If you stay for the whole game, people, they're buying food, okay? They're buying spirits. If they leave before the game is over, then these people don't make any money either. So, yeah. Hey, peace and blessing. I'm talking about everybody. But in the meantime, like I said, let me get on to this next game tomorrow. I think I done ran overtime with this. Great win for the Sacramento Kings tonight. Once again, 131-110 over the Detroit Pistons in Detroit, Michigan at Little Caesar Arena. So tomorrow, Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte. As for me, thanks for tuning in again. Peace, love, and solidarity.